All right, so we're going to look at reviewing how to write the equation of a line. I know you all have seen this before in your lifetime, but it may have been a little bit. And we've had a summer in between. So let's look at this. All of our equations are going to be in slope-intercept form. Okay, it's the easiest one to graph from. In my opinion, it's the easiest one to write equations for as well. So we need to have two numbers. We always need what? What is this? And? Okay. So on this one, they gave us the slope, which is kind of nice. So we already know we have y equals -6 x, and we just need the y-intercept.
It's 8
How do we know it's 8?
because it passes through 0, 8.
0, 8 is on the y-axis, right? Okay, so that's our y-intercept. Done. Questions? Okay, let's try this one. We don't have the slope on this one, so we're going to have to find that first, which we already know how to do with our equation. What do we subtract on the top? Okay, so what would that be?
12 minus 12 plus 16.
Okay, so we went 12 minus -16, so this one has to be
-29 plus 25.
okay, so we'll simplify this. We get 28 over what? -4, which is -7. Okay, so now we know the slope. We have y equals -7 x plus, we don't know. Okay, this one wasn't so nice where we could just say, oh, well, we have where it crosses through the y-axis. So we have to find this value right here. So what we're going to do, we talked about this a little bit, but where could we maybe find an x and a y so that we could solve for b? We have two options, don't we? We have an x and a y and another x and a y. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Okay, so let's just pick this one. Okay, we have an x here, we have a y here. So we'll say 12 equals -7 times -29 plus the b value that we don't know. But now that we have just one variable, we can solve for that. So what's this number right here? Hmm?
That's not right.
203? Okay, so we'll subtract on both sides. What do we get? What is that? 91? Okay. Well, now we have our two numbers that we need. Like we said at the top here, we only need two numbers. We need the slope and the y-intercept. Well, we have those two things. So we have y equals -7x minus 191. Questions? Hey, use the coordinates if you don't have your b value. Use those x and y numbers to substitute in. Last example would be if we're looking at a picture. Okay, so we've got y equals mx plus b. Are we able to just look at this picture and know our two numbers? Yes. Okay. There may be a situation where we wouldn't know exactly where this y-intercept is, and if that's the case, you do what we did on the last page where you just take a coordinate, put it in for x and y, and solve. But we know exactly where this one is crossing through. So our answer is going to be y equals, how do we find the slope? Pick 2 points. So maybe this one and this one. So what's the slope? Close. We're going to go down 3 and over 4. So negative 3/4 x plus 3. Okay, and this 3 comes from right there, the y-intercept. Okay, now right here, we're going to review a little bit from last year. In the homework and also on the test, I'm going to ask for situations where you write the equation of the line that is parallel to this line. Okay, what's true about parallel lines?
Same slope.
Yes. Okay, so whatever the slope is, you're just going to keep that the same. So same slope. Okay, so in your equation of your line, you're going to just keep the same slope number. You'll find a new b value, but you're going to keep the same slope. What about perpendicular lines? Okay, let's talk about what that means. Okay, so if you had 4, what would the opposite reciprocal be? Where did the 1 come from? And this is really 4 over 1 over here, right? So if it's the opposite, that's the sign. So opposite sign, positive, negative. Reciprocal means you flip the two numbers.
So it'll be 4 over 3.
So this one, yep, the opposite reciprocal of this one would be positive 4 over 3. Okay, let me give you just a quick example of what I mean by using this information. So let's say we want a line perpendicular to y equals 1/3 x plus 2. Everybody write this down, and goes through 4, -2. Okay? So again, we're trying to figure out what the equation of the line is. Y equals mx plus b. Well, we know some information. Okay, we know this, right? What's this going to be if it's perpendicular to the line? It's got to be -3. This is the current slope, but if it's perpendicular, it's the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so we know this is going to be -3. Do we know the y-intercept? Okay, so this is still b. But could we maybe put some numbers in here so that we could solve for b? That's why they gave you this point over here on the end. Okay, this is your x and your y. Okay, so for the y, we'll go -2. Here we'll go 4. So we've got -2 equals -12 plus b. Add 12. So now we know this is 10. So we have our equation of our perpendicular line. We knew right away that the slope had to be the opposite reciprocal of that, so we got -3x. We just figured out b. So you're always looking for those two things, the slope and the y-intercept, and then you have your equation. Questions?